Good morning. It is Saturday, the 27th of June 2020, which makes this the 27th episode of Notes from a Scottish Author, the YouTube series / podcast with me, Barry Hutchison, aka JD Kirk. Today I am sitting in my office. My hayfever is playing up something chronic. It's actually quite a nice morning out there. I've been here from early on, though. It's 10:30, just after 10:30, 10:32 to be exact. I came over to the office at 7:30 this morning, and I have been writing flat out since then. I've done about 3,500 words, so I'm quite happy with that. I've decided I need to really kind of look at my time management a bit better. I was listening to an audiobook called The 12-Week Year, I think that's what it's called, and it's about how we can assess our performance based on a yearly goal. We set a goal a year in the future, and then at the end of that year look back and go, did we achieve this thing? And the theory is that a year is a very long time, and it's hard to predict where you're going to be in 11 months, and that 12-month thing means that for the first few months you just muck around doing not very much because that pressing deadline isn't there. So I already kind of work in that 12-week sort of period. I mean, I have books out roughly every 6 to 8 weeks. I think I have a book out, and I look at that as my kind of period. I plan ahead that I know what books are going to be coming out in the future, but when I start writing, I know I have kind of 6 to 8 weeks or so before. Well, no, I have longer than that because I start writing when I finish the previous book, and that's not out yet. So basically I have about 12 weeks of the whole production process, from planning through writing through editing and then publication. Takes about 10 to 12 weeks ish, thereabouts. But that some of that overlaps with other books, so hence the book's coming out a bit more quickly than that. So so I already kind of work in that sort of 12-week window. So some of the stuff in the audiobook, and I've only really started listening to it. I thought I was getting close to the end, and then I realised I'm only on part 1 of 3, and there are another 50 chapters to listen to. But one thing that really struck a chord with me was the author suggests taking like a 3-hour period, some point in the week, where you switch off everything else and you just focus on the kind of structure of your business or planning your business rather than actually working in it, rather than writing or advertising or any of that stuff, taking a more strategic look at your business. So I think I'm going to start doing that, and kind of every week take 3 hours out, and either myself and my wife, who's the other director of the company, sit and figure out where we're going next and what the next 12 weeks is going to hold, and then look at that every week and kind of tweak as necessary. I think that's the plan anyway. I'm also I'm scheduling writing time a lot more strictly, and I'm not dealing with emails. I'm going to have half an hour a day where I deal with emails and all that boring stuff. I might need to schedule in an extra hour during the week to catch up with some stuff. Like this last week there, I had VAT forms and all that stuff to do. And so, trying to do that. I'm trying to outsource more. So we've been doing our own bookkeeping. We've got an accountant who does all the accounting and stuff. We've been doing our own bookkeeping, but I think it's time to outsource that and generally try and get as much of that stuff gone as possible. Because from my point of view, there is only one thing in the business that I and I alone can do, and that is write my books. Nobody else can write my books. People might be able to write better books, but only I can write my books. Everything else can be done by somebody else, more or less, often more effectively than me. So really want to schedule my time, and I really want to look at outsourcing as much of that stuff as possible. My son recently left school. He was supposed to be going to university this year, but coronavirus has kind of impacted on that, so he's not going this year, which means we have him at home for an extra year, and I am putting him to work, and he is going to be taking over all my advertising, and various other things like that. and which leaves me more time to do the stuff that only I can do, which is writing my books. So that's the plan. Better scheduling of time, more outsourcing, and I'm hoping that means that we're going to be more productive, but I'm also going to have more time to do other stuff, because at the moment my time is so taken up and I'm constantly reacting to stuff. I'm constantly going, oh God, here's an email, and there's another email come in an hour later, and then there's 3 emails coming at once, and I tend to try to reply to them as quickly as possible. But that's kind of letting someone else's priorities dictate what I do. It's like if they email me, I kind of assume that what they want, because they've emailed me, I assume, well, that's more important than what I'm doing. But in terms of my business, it generally isn't. Generally, what they're asking for can wait until 3 p.m. that afternoon, or the following afternoon, or whenever it is. So yeah, I think I'm trying to be a bit stricter on that and say no to things more. I tend to say yes to everything, and I think if I say no to more things, because someone said saying yes to one thing is saying no to an infinite number of other things, which I thought was quite a good way of looking at it, because I always want to kind of go, yes, I'll do that, and keep people happy. And that comes from kind of 10 years of constantly being a freelancer and constantly looking for work. So you would have to, you would take any opportunity that came your way, and you would always say yes. And now I think it's time to kind of step back a bit and go, no, that's actually not the best thing for me to do at the moment. I actually did it a couple of days ago when I was asked to write some animation scripts, which I really enjoy doing, but I couldn't really justify the time it would take for the level of enjoyment I get and for the financial reward. Taking all those things into account, I couldn't really justify it, so I said no. And it really it was quite a liberating experience, realizing that I could do that and just say, no, I can't help in this case. Good luck finding someone else who can. Previously, even if I had said no to something, I would have spent ages trying to find someone else who could do it. I would say, okay, I can't do it, but try them and try them and try them. And if you get really stuck, come back and I'll see what I can do. So being able just to go, no, sorry, was really nice, and I think I could get used to that, because like I say, that thing of, if I said yes, that means that no, I can't write this next book I'm working on in time. No, I can't spend as much time with my kids and my wife. No, I can't do as much exercise or whatever it may be. So saying yes to that is saying no to all these other things that I want to do. So saying no is my new thing. I'm going to just say no to everything. I'll be no man. I think there's a book, I can't remember who wrote it, the Danny somebody or other, can't remember, comedian UK, Yes Man. It became a film with Jim Carrey, and he said yes to everything. I wonder if I just did the opposite, if I said no to absolutely everything I was asked, whether there's a book in that. Probably not a very good one, probably quite depressing. Although not as depressing as the Jim Carrey film, I must say. So yeah, so that's my plan going forward this week, is better time management. I'm going to be here in the office 7:30 till 11:30ish every day writing. I'll do some admin stuff from home in the afternoon, and schedule my 3-hour strategy planning session every week, and go from there and say no to more things. So that's my plan for this coming week. That's what I'm doing. What are you doing? Let me know in the comments. If you run a business, how do you manage your time? Or if you just have a busy life, which I think most of us have, how do you successfully manage your time? Are you always chasing your tail? Do you have a plan? Have you figured out a strategy to get everything done? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and any tips you may have. And if you want to check out the 12-week year, seems pretty good. I got the audiobook. The book might be better because, again, I listen to audio when I'm writing, so therefore I can't really write down what the interesting points, and I miss loads. I remember listening to it and going, oh, that's really interesting. I'm going to do that, No idea what it was. So I would now have to rewind to listen back, and I'm not going to bother with that because I'm too lazy. So yeah, that's me. I'm off to do other stuff, which I haven't quite scheduled in yet, but I will next week. It's going to be a tightly scheduled thing. I will schedule my video production in at some point every day, and then we'll go from there. Okay, waffled on enough. Eyes are burning, nose is running, sun is shining outside, so I'm going to go and take an antihistamine and walk the dog. Bye for now.